everyone, it's Julia. I add words to a lot of my sewing projects. Maybe it's just a pillow top where I'm going to be adding a phrase. Maybe it's a person's name. Sometimes I add little words or phrases to totes, bags, maybe even just like a little zippered pouch. It just kind of adds a fun little element. And so in this video, I'm going to be going over 3 or 4 different ways that I add words to my sewing projects. Part of this video, or most of it's going to be just voiceover, and some of it's going to be sped up a little bit. But I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a chance just to create with fabric and add words to fabric.
The first project actually has 2 different types of lettering, the appliqué letters and also the ones that I've run through my printer. First of all, this is just a muslin fabric, and I'm cutting it down to size, so it's an 8.5 by an 11, so it will go through my printer. Just using my rotary cutter here and just cutting that piece. I'm flipping it over. I will be using the back side to place my label. I use these labels that I actually use for my Etsy packages. They work perfect because it's the exact size that I need, and it gives it some stability when it goes through my printer. I use these several times, and then I'll just put it back on this little piece of paper with the wax side up so that I can use it again and again. I just get it down there real nice. Okay, now at my printer, notice that I have several pieces of paper behind it. I kind of need to do this on my printer just to keep that upright. It just helps to kind of keep it in place. And then I just go ahead and I put my thumb there, and I wait for it to grab, and then it just goes right on through. And there it is. Now back to my sewing area. I'm going to be cutting down the pieces for the applique, and this is just another way of putting letters or words on. I'm using the Sizzix Bigs die, and this is the lollipop shadow. My cotton fabrics have a heat and bond already adhered to or just iron onto the back of them, and I'm cutting them down to size, and I want them just to be able to cover the letters. I know you can't really see the letters on this die, but I'm just making sure that the fabric completely covers. And then I'm going to be running it through my much used Big Shot here. Just kind of making my sandwich and running it through. And it's almost there. And there's the N and the M. And cut out the rest of my letters. Now I'm back to my ironing board, or my ironing, my ironing mat, taking off all the heat and bond and just kind of laying it out on the design, the pillow top, to get it to where I want it laid out right. And I'm also kind of heat setting those letters that went through the printer. And now it's ready for the sewing machine. I will be just appliquing everything on using a free motion applique. Another pillow, and this one has individual words on it, and this is another way that I use my printer a lot for adding words. I just individually cut them out. The heat and bond is also on the back, which I'm removing here, and then placing it where I want it on my design. And these 2 will be individually just free motion appliqued around the design. And I made a little mistake there. I had to tuck that back and just going to iron that down again into place. And this is the last type here. I'm using these iron-on transfer pens onto another font that I just ran off, this Home Sweet Home, ran off from my printer. The pens have like a ball that I just kind of, you do have to shake them. I take this deli paper, this tissue paper, and I trace my words on the deli paper, and then I flip it over to the back side and I trace each letter using this transfer pen. I like using this deli paper because then I can, once I get to my project, I can see where the letters are being placed, and you can kind of see when I'm laying this out. This is a little mini accent pillow that I'm doing. And now I'm just able to, I'm going to have the word sweet above this little retro camper, and I'm able to just kind of figure out where I want it and then iron that on. And you can see it's just kind of a faint, but I'm able to trace it. I'm going to be using my Faber-Castell Pitt pens. Absolutely love these pens for fabric. A lot of mixed media artists use them, but they're fabulous for fabric because they don't bleed into the fibers or like wick at all into the fibers. They just stay on top and they're very opaque. Just works really well, and permanent, so that it just works really well. And here's the 3 little accent pillows with the retro campers saying home sweet home. And a last one is kind of the same technique. It's with Happy Camper. I trace the letters on again on my tissue paper to kind of curve around the curve of the camper. And again, on the back side of the deli paper, I'm tracing the letters with my transfer pen. And then back to the ironing board, and I can see exactly where that camper outline is, so I know exactly where I want my letters, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my ironing. Yeah, and there it is. I decided I'm going to go ahead and hoop this and just do a running stitch with a piece of DMC floss. Actually, I think I used 2 strands of the floss. And I'm just doing a basic embroidery running stitch here. This is going to give it a real homespun look. And this is the finished project. This is like a little mini wall hanging. And the pillow again. There's the word sweet on those little accent pillows and the Peace Love Coffee design.